and I'm actually a second year student at Manchester University, and I spent my first year at Canterbury Court. So before I came to Canterbury Court, there literally wasn't anything about it. The only things I could find, there was something about goths and mutes, that the accommodation was really old-fashioned, that no one had a social life there. So I decided to make a video just so the people who are going into Canterbury Court maybe this year or are thinking to go into Canterbury Court. So I wanted to make this video just to see if there was any information I can give that wasn't, say, there when you look online, because the actual website for the accommodation doesn't even have that many pictures of maybe the inside. So what I'll also do is insert some pictures every now and then. I'll be also giving an honest review that will show pros and cons, so I'm not going to say that this is the most amazing accommodation. There were disadvantages too, which every accommodation does have. So initially you do get 3 choices when you pick your accommodation for Manchester Uni. So my 3 accommodation choices were Richmond Park, Denmark Road and Canterbury Court. And because of the open days and the accommodation tour only being available to see Richmond Park, a lot of people just put Richmond Park as their default option because it was just easy and they've seen it before. So what I'd actually planned to do was move into Richmond Park with my best friend, so I contacted the accommodation office, they sorted it out, and it was just waiting until results day. So on results day, when I did get my results, a lot of girls applied before me, so my best friend, he got in, and unfortunately I didn't get in. So they said that I could be put on a waiting list for Richmond Park, or I could be put onto accommodation for Canterbury Court. And after say an hour or two decided to just relieve the stress of it and just put me into Canterbury Court. Even though I did do a bit of research and I wasn't too sure on what I was getting into, I just decided that I'll just have to go to Canterbury Court. So coming from when I came into Canterbury Court for the first week, a lot of people came in quite blind to what the accommodation was, what it looked like on the inside, what facilities it had. So to be honest, a lot of the people I did meet, Canterbury Court was not their first option. So for some context, Canterbury Court is split into 4 buildings, which is Pankhurst, Burgess, Alworthy and Cobden. And Pankhurst was the one that I lived in. Canterbury Court is also the accommodation which is across from St Anselm's Hall, so a lot of the time people from Slems and Canterbury Court did socialise together. You could use the facilities in St Anselm Hall, so I used the gym in the second semester. There's also a chapel which they did use from time to time to just have certain services. Particularly use the chapel as well as other people just to play music, so there was a piano in there, you could bring in your instrument if you wanted to. In particular in the first semester, a lot of people went to the accommodation bar in Slems. Now Canterbury Court does have a bar itself, but Slems is the main one where they do hold most of the events, which is like a cellar club. And in semester 1 it was really busy. You could have pub quizzes there every Tuesday, there was a karaoke night I think Saturdays and maybe some Fridays. I mean, in particular I did like the pub quizzes because you could win, say, a bottle of wine or a bottle of vodka, which would be really handy for nights out. But unfortunately in the second semester, as people kind of figured out what they wanted to do when they go out and what they enjoyed doing, not a lot of people went to the cellar club, only if it was in a special event. Now Canterbury Court does have its own bar which is open on Thursdays and Saturdays, but it wasn't as promoted as much as Slems. Slems was the main one. And Burgess Common Room is the main social spot for where people want to hang out because it does have a PlayStation that you can go on. There's a pool table which I use quite a lot with my friends, and every now and then they did organise events at this bar. So pizza nights was often the favourite choice for everybody because free pizza. And these events were organised by both the Res Life and uni students who would volunteer to maybe help out at the bar, or it's kind of like a student council that everybody gets to vote in. So Res Life is the guidance that do live with you and they figure out any issues that you have. They talk about what's happening in the accommodation. When it comes to Res Life, there's say 4 members that each one of them live in each of the buildings in Canterbury Court. A lot of the time we did get noise complaints, and I think this is only because we did live above them, so we were quite fortunate to that. And coming to noise curfews, Victoria Park and in particular Canterbury Court, the noise curfew was very strict. The noise curfew was till 11 on weekdays until it came to Fridays and Saturdays it would go up to 12, but say if you wanted to have flat parties, or you were just say running about, even closing doors, there was a chance that you would have one of the members come up and say if you could be quiet. In comparison to Fallowfield, they could have flat parties till really early in the morning, so 2 o'clock, and no one would bat an eyelid really. And because of this and the social life that was more kind of up there for Fallowfield, a lot of people did move from Canterbury Court to Fallowfield. Referring back to the reviews when it said that Canterbury Court wasn't that sociable, I think our year was a lot more sociable than it used to be. It was mainly the people that did move into Canterbury Court that made it quite better, and I knew a lot of people from moving in on the first day. There was also a group chat and a Facebook page that was created to enable people to know each other before they did move in, so that helped a lot of people, if anything. So coming back to my experience of living in Pankhurst, the rooms weren't that massive. There was a single bed. The desk was quite big, to be honest, but in comparison to other rooms that I saw in other accommodation, they weren't the biggest. We also had an ensuite, which luckily for us, and I think Cobden, we were able to have shower cubicles compared to the other buildings or blocks that had just the curtains, so your bathroom would get quite wet. And for the layout and design of the interior, it wasn't the most, it was quite old. I think it was built into the 60s, but coming off those reviews, those were quite true. I mean, the walls were like an old style brick wall. The hallways weren't that appealing. It just wasn't modern at all. I think the kitchens were quite decent. They were quite spacious. As for the common room, the furniture was quite old. They had blue wooden doctor's waiting room chairs for Pankhurst and I think Cobden as well. In terms of Burgess and Allworthy, their common room and kitchen was a lot more spacious, and they were able to have sofas, so they were quite lucky for that and we weren't. And for Pankhurst, it didn't have any washing machines, so we'd have to go over to Cobden to do our washing. Just everything about the building, it just wasn't modern at all. The stairs were old-fashioned too, and I mean, I liked the outside of the accommodation, just inside it was completely different to what you saw. So a lot of the time I just decorated to make it look a lot more appealing, trying to cover the brick walls with posters and fairy lights just to make it a little bit nicer. Into the Canterbury Court of most of the accommodation at Victoria Park, you do end up walking to university a lot, which is 30 minutes. So there was a bus stop close by which you can hop on a bus which gets you past the university, and that was a 2-minute walk away. You could walk down to Corrie Mall, which could get you a bus to Fallowfield and to Piccadilly. Overall, Victoria Park is quite quiet. There is a social life, but I don't think it's as big as Fallowfield, so maybe that's why they put more strict noise curfews and it's more quiet. So to be honest, I really did enjoy Canterbury Court. There was a lot of memories that I made in my first year. I think the social life was quite good there, made by the amazing people I met, made by my flat, who I do live with a lot of my flat again this year. However, if you're still in doubt, maybe the lack of social life, I would definitely try Victoria Park at first. I was looking to change my accommodation before I came to Canterbury Court, and I ended up staying. My expectations were completely different to what I actually had. So I hope this video has maybe helped answer any questions that people had and gave a good insight to what my experience was at Canterbury Court. If you want, leave a question in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them if there's any more questions you have. But other than that, thank you very much for watching.